We're back for a semifinals match of GP Guayaquil. We have Purplemurasaki, who's on green red Prowess, versus Scribbl, who's on blue black discard. So it's a matchup between an aggro deck and a control deck, so that'll be interesting.
It's a matchup between the control and the nuts.
Yeah, the nuts. In case you haven't caught up yet, Purplesaki's deck runs a card called Leaf Down Hunk, which has an adventure called Nut Up. And so far, Purplemurasaki has not managed to resolve Nut Up even once in this GP, so we're waiting to see Purplemurasaki nut. It'll be a very exciting moment when that happens, because
it's going to be in the finals.
Well, assuming Purple makes it to the finals, we have to get through that first.
That's fair, we aren't certain. Wave of Decay seems good against...
Yeah, Wave of Decay. Wait, 2 Wave of Decays. Wait, that's really good against aggro. Huh. This is the perfect hand, right?
Yeah.
Well, I guess the land situation is a bit worse because you have 2 tap lands. But yeah, past that, this is basically the perfect hand against aggro. So how is Purple going to get themselves out of this? I guess they don't really know what's going to happen because they don't see Scribbl's hand, so they don't know how screwed they are right now.
That's the Ball's Descent.
The Weed from Trap. Okay, that finds them an untapped land for next turn. They can probably just discard Balls plus Zangan or Prying Inquiry because that's a bit slow against Burn.
I think Prying Inquiry and Balls or Zangan.
We're going to start with Zangan. So I guess they assume Zangan's too slow. They don't really need it to stabilize. If they make it to Zangan mana, then they've already won. I guess that's a thought process they're using. And they decide Prying Inquiry. Okay, so they're keeping around Ball's Descent, I guess, as a way to wipe the board and wipe Purple's hands. I mean, curving Wave of Decay on turn 3 into Bowels on turn 4 is pretty good, I think. Strong Arm. I think the play here is probably just Pagan Archer and then Strong Arm one of the Pagan Archers and swing. Push damage right now when they can. The Wave of Decay is going to snipe off 2 creatures and Scribble's going to be very happy. I guess Purple can try to play around Wave of Decay by just doing Strong Arm plus Scorch this turn and saving the Pagan Archer, or after Scribble tries to remove the first Pagan Archer.
The thing is, it's very hard to play around double Wave of Decay.
Yeah.
With this hand.
Actually, maybe Sculptor Ruby's hand, because if Sculptor gets killed, then Purple gets to breach Lilies next turn and get a Sculptor trigger right away. We'll start off with Strong Arm.
Understandable.
Next turn, they have 4 mana, so I guess they can probably... What can they do with 4 mana? Okay, seems like they're playing out the second Pagan Archer, and that's going to get wrecked by Wave of Decay.
We're fetching up the land here, so probably just going to go Wave of Decay.
Wave for 2, so kills both Pagan Archers, gains 2 life, but Pagan Archers ping Scribble down when they die, so gain of 0 life.
Although, card advantage gain, so still very good. Plus, second Wave of Decay, if Purple tries to play out Sculptor and Pagan Archer.
Yeah. But this turn...
yeah, -X/-X.
Oh, right. Okay, Wave of Decay is even better against Purplemurasaki than we originally thought. Alright, Judge Called resolved.
Epic.
So probably Storm Surge into Sculptor, and then attack with the land. People still at 17 life right now. I mean, they gained some life, but yeah, it's still at 17. That's not good for Purplemurasaki. It's going to be extra...
Soon you're going to see, potentially, Bell's Descent drops, and then Purple lose another creature. And they get it back to the Breach, but still.
And their entire hand, actually.
Yeah, so just also loses Breach.
So if Scribble top deck a land here, then they're rolling. If they don't top deck a land, they get to Wave of Decay again. And that's also really good.
Wave of Decay, only one thing is a little bit rough.
That's still really good. You gain 2 life, kill something? That's basically,
They could also hold up Breach here.
Right, that too.
Given how few cards Purple has.
Well, Sculptor cares about casting, not resolving, so okay, they decide to hold up Breach. So if Purplemurasaki top decks a creature, they can trigger Sculptor Ruby Sands again this turn. And let's see what they draw. Strong Arm. Okay, that's not going to do it.
It's not a creature.
Maybe Purplemurasaki can bait out the Breach the Mind on the Strong Arm. Actually, I think Purple might just be willing to discard 2 cards if Breach gets breached.
Or they get back.
Pagan Archer? That's fine, right? You get back Pagan Archer, you trigger Sculptor Ruby Sands, you swing for 6. Your opponent's down to 5.
Yeah, you get Wave next turn, but it's a valiant effort.
Yeah.
That's the tough thing. That second wave is going to be brutal.
Purple's thinking about it. If they don't try to go for the Breach play, they just dump their hand. Actually, no, they can dump their entire hand this turn.
In theory.
If they just let the Breach get breached, they dump Scorch plus Strong Arm. How much damage does that deal? Does that do less than if they just discard Breach for Breach?
So leads off?
Yeah, that's pretty obvious. Leads off on Scorch. Is Scribble going to get baited?
I don't know if I would see a usage for Breach here. It's 3 damage is like a good chunk, but
Scribble got baited.
mm,
Okay, now purple gets to breach plus strong arm this turn. So now it basically kind of turns off Ball's Descent, or at least the discard part of Ball's Descent. And Pride Inquiry is also useless. Unfortunately,
true.
purple doesn't have a second Sculptor Ruby Sands in their yard, because that'd be insane if that happened, because now you get 2
think that
Sculptor
actually-
triggers. Assuming purple's going to strong arm here.
yeah, no reason not to, I don't think.
Well, actually, maybe you save the strong arm for Pagan Archer when it gets Wave of Decay so that you actually ping your opponent when it dies. Wait, that's just bad. That's just worth than using strong arm to push for damage. Mind.
Pushes for the damage. Gonna take Scribble down to 3 here, so definitely a tough spot.
I mean, what? So Scribble plays Wave of Decay, kills everything, goes up to 5, and then purple needs to top deck 2 burn spells.
Mm-hmm. The thing is that Scribble's gonna need to draw a land here soon because
Even if they don't draw a land, they're still fine. Well, I mean, there you go. That's a land. But they still have to Wave of Decay here to kill the board.
it's true. Can gain 3 off of it though, which I don't think matters.
Yes.
Because burn
Deals damage in increments of 3.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, Purplemurasaki with Pagan Archer might deal damage in increments of not 3 if Scribble runs out of Wave of Decay and has to just normally kill the Pagan Archer.
Yeah.
They're going to Wave of Decay now. And yeah, there goes Purple's board.
Mm-hmm. So I imagine next turn.
That's not a bad top deck, I guess. Well, you're going to play out anyways, because if you keep it in your hand, it's going to get discarded.
Mm-hmm.
I think Breach is basically the best card you can top deck here.
Yeah.
Because you get back Sculptor, and then you get another trigger off Sculptor.
And a land, so it could Zan again.
Yeah, Zanagan. I think that kind of just seals up the game. Because now
Eat the Sculptor.
Scribble's out of range of any single card that purple can draw. Of course, Ryan Land definitely doesn't help. And then Scannigan is getting Scribble out of range, and purple concedes.
Yeah. Going to boards. Scribble. I think Noxious Upwelling.
Yeah.
So that eats everything pretty easily.
Send on the helpless.
Yes, Descend.
I think that's mostly it. I mean, Perilous Downfall does attack the graveyard, but you don't really want to be attacking the graveyard because your opponent's way faster than, yeah.
And then for purple,
Blossoming Defense and Imperial Siege.
Definitely Imperial Siege.
Blossoming Defense protects your guys against a Wave of Decay.
It's target, yeah. So yeah, Blossoming Defense, Imperial Siege. I don't think any of the other cards are good enough.
Yeah. Okay, game 2 has started. Purple's on the play. Scribble gets a hand with Wave of Decay and Valdez and Breach and Nox. Okay, Scribble gets an excellent hand.
Despite the fact that Scribble is on blue-black discard and not green-red prowess, that is a nut draw right there.
I mean, how is Purple even going to play around that? Not that they really can. So if they start with a Rapid Countess, that thing's going to get... I mean, I guess Scribble can't kill it right away, but let's mean Scribble's going to turn on Valdez, and that's going to snag... Actually, no, Purple gets to choose what to discard. Scribble brought in Forbidden Treasure. Interesting. It gets more counter spells against Breach to Lilies.
Yeah, that makes sense. Eating Breach is really good with that, I feel.
Okay, turn on Valdez. Naming high. Purple gets to take their pick. Now, what would you discard here? I think I'd discard maybe Scorch, because that pushes less damage than either one of your pump spells.
Yeah, I think Scorch. Definitely not Find Greater Purpose. I don't think Strong Arm. I guess you could make a case for... I think definitely Scorch is the worst here, but it is tough still. I think you can make a case for everything except for Find Greater Purpose.
Okay, they discard Scorch, like what we said. So now I guess Purple is going to try to dump their hand this turn. Oh, they get Fang Dang Jaws, which means that... So they get to Fang Dang this turn with Acorn Assault. And that's pretty good. That pushes a lot of damage. And then, I mean, in Rapid Countess gets Wave of Decay, but then maybe Purple flips into something good and then gets there.
I mean, it's also possible because Scribble is going to be passing next turn with Owner Mana up. If Purple holds on to Find Greater Purpose, it's probably not going to resolve.
Right, so maybe you want to get under counter spells. That's a good point.
Yeah, it might be better to just go Assault and Strong Arm and Find.
So Strong Arm first.
And
Acorn Assault. Yeah, it seems like Purple is going to Find Greater Purpose this turn. Probably sacrificing the treasure. So that means the Raptor Countess swings in for... It's 8, okay.
That's pretty good.
And that's not a very good Find Greater Purpose.
That's not good at all. Double land.
Oof, that's really painful.
If the Fanged and Jaws adventure gets countered, does it still go into...
No, the whole thing goes away.
Doesn't really matter, but Scribble's definitely going to pass and then probably gets to Breach.
I mean, if you breach the Raptor Countess's tail, then Purple is probably kind of alright with that because it means that It didn't actually trade for an actual card.
Scribble could also just kill the Countess.
Yeah, but then that taps him out.
Yeah. But at the same time, now purple has 0 creatures on board.
Yeah.
I think you just go like, fetch Fluttermorass, hold up Breach, / Forbidden Treasure. Purple's definitely in a rough spot.
Yeah.
Also, hello. Neon has joined the chat.
Neon, you've arrived at a pretty...
potato mic, so...
Well, no problem. But you've arrived at a pretty bad time for Purplemurasaki because, well, as you can see, this is game 2, and Purple has lost game 1. So if they don't get out of this, then... Okay, Breach, that's one of the best cards they could draw.
Scribble Tidal Wave. Oh, Breach. Man. Yeah, that's a nice draw here.
So I guess you Breach and Raptor Countess, because why not?
Yeah, definitely a little bit rough not deciding to hold up the counter magic.
Wait,
It's an instant.
Oh yeah, Breach is an instant, but now you let Scribble untap with counter mana. Oh, they're trying to bait Scribble into using Prying Inquiry first. They let it resolve. Okay, they're trying to bait Scribble into using Valdez, I guess.
What to pitch here?
Well, they definitely need their 3rd land, so I think they pitch one of the Breach Domains and one of the Prying Inquiries, because, like, yeah.
Since you still have 2 counter spells.
Yeah, and now I guess Purple's going to try to Breach end of turn, and that's going to get punished with Forbidden Treasure. So yeah, Purple probably should have tried to Breach in response to the Weed from Chaff.
That moment where Scribble doesn't have Breach Man up. In this case, even goes Treasure, which is even worse, because Breach is a really good card.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not looking good here for Purple. Once you just get those threats off the board, it's very hard for Prowess to do anything, without Prowess.
Is the dream of nutting over?
I think so. I mean, even if Purplemurasaki top deck Leaf Down Hunk, they have nothing to use nut up on.
Could just play the Leaf Down Hunk.
Yeah, but that's not nutting. That's just playing Leaf Down Hunk. And Purple has done that before in the GP.
Nutless completely. It's so sad.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just insult to injury.
Especially because Scribble can just pass holding up Breach.
Also said, well, at least Scribble doesn't have 4 lands. And now, I guess Scribble gets baited into Valdez.
Baited? Is it really baiting if there's like no...
You can see I have nothing.
It's like the classic turn 1 Thoughtseize into a 7 land hand.
Yeah.
Baited.
You fool! Now you've lost 2 life, and I still have 7 cards that do nothing.
I mean, if you have... manlands, they could do something.
Unfortunately, Purple's deck doesn't run manlands. Actually, Fangdane Jaws is a land that does something, but not if Purple doesn't have a creature in play.
It's a land that helps your mans.
For a man land, that's when you draw a land and you're like, man, that was unfunny, I'll stop.
Okay, Acorn Assault, that's also not very helpful with no creatures in play. Purplemusaki's fine playing out their lands, because Scribble already knows that they've been baited, so they're not going to try again.
Got pranked. I mean...
Yeah, if they try another Thoughtseize here, it'll be lights out for Purple, like it already isn't.
If there's a Thoughtseize here...
Oh, there's Balsasand.
Purple can't even cast Acorn Assault, because there's no creature for it to target.
What if Scribble plays out the creature first?
What creature?
Valdez, I guess?
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyway, Scribble's probably just going to play Balsasand here and clean up Purple's hand, and, I mean, Purple has 1 turn to top deck something, I guess. Actually, playing Balsasand would be wrong here. You'd rather hold up Breach the Mind, I think. Or, no, Purple has 2 lands in hand, or 2 useless cards in hand. They're more than happy to discard to Breach the Mind.
Goes Balsasand.
Not to talk too far into the future, but I like Scribble's matchup against the other person in
2
finals
Leaf Down
right
Hunks. Oof, that's...
Wow.
I think this is basically the entire GP, at least for Purplemurasaki, summarized in one scene.
Ye nut was so close, yet instead so far.
And it's not like Purple can even breach these guys, because Breach are all exiled.
To nut or not to nut? That is the question.
Well, I guess the question...
Whether to play Leaf Down Hung or to nut on your opponent's creature.
Oh.
I might as well be Shakespeare at this point.
I mean, the good news here is Scribble is going to take a while to kill Purple. So if Purple tops like Leaf Down Hunk and Scribble plays a creature and attacks, Purple can nut the opponent's creature, and then that's technically nutting.
Yeah,
and Purple will match nut this DP.
Stuff.
At this point, I mean, if Scribble goes Valdez and then goes Xanagan, swings with Valdez.
Or never mind, Val's flipping. That's going to end the game way sooner than that.
Oh, that's also true. Val flips.
That's so sad. We could have had this game end with us nutting on a raccoon.
Well,
So-
maybe it'll end with Purple nutting on a god.
Now, that is a power play, honestly.
Oh, okay, this can chump. No, Purple, don't concede it. I want to see. You could have nutted. No,
No,
you're-
they couldn't have. They would have died next turn.
No, they chump with Pagan Archer on the bow, and then next time maybe tap deck Least Down Hunk and nut on the god.
Not on a god. Actually, man, I wish I could see what's on top now, because imagine if it was the Leaf Down Hunk. We'll never know. That ain't right.
Wave of Decay main meta. I mean, the reason Scribbl won both games was because Wave of Decay.
This is a Wave of Decay meta, for sure. At the very least, it was definitely a player in this matchup.
Yeah. So, Neon, what are your thoughts on Purple's lack of nutting this entire GP?
Well, 50% of men. That's all I got to say.
What? Okay, so with that, Scribbl is going to be moving on to the finals of GP Guayaquil. Guayaquil,
Do
right?
you want to talk about that matchup briefly? Because I really like Scribbl's odds here. So, typically speaking, I would describe Scribbl's deck as a not archetypical control deck, but it's definitely a control deck.
Yeah.
And the general basis of like rock, paper, scissors, and magic is control beats mid-range beats aggro beats control. And that's just kind of like the three most basic archetypes and how they play with each other. I think that we're going to see something like that here because Scribbl definitely has like tools to deal with Profane Emissary and that 3/3 dragon, but
Oh, wait, hold on. We have
People joining us
Purple
for
and
post.
Scribb in here. We can do a post-game interview.
Yeah, so I guess the first question I want to ask Purple is, what are your thoughts about how you failed to nut this entire GP?
I feel alright. I got to Acorn Assaults some people.
Okay,
Actually, Acorn Assault is basically a nut. It doesn't have nut in the name, but I mean, if you count that as nutting, then
Acorn Assault is a much nuttier card than Leaf Gen Hunk.
yeah, probably. You actually managed to cast that card most of the time instead of just it rotting in your hand.
But this deck is definitely not all that good.
It's not the nuts.
No, definitely not. Even with like Acorn Assault as it is now. Like I mentioned in chat that it's probably a good thing that Acorn Assault's being nerfed so no one tries to play this deck.
I think that the deck can win really fast. That's assuming there's no interaction. MSEM in the current state that it's in is very quick, like you said. So
Yeah, this definitely wasn't a good matchup, but I think just in general, this deck, unlike the Blue-Red Prowess deck that I think got second to GP's deck back, has a lot less innately broken cards in it, like Crossing the Fog and Consult are the two that the Blue-Red Prowess deck used. And those cards are like just absolutely insane in every aspect.
Yeah.
So like even the like Fanged End Jaws is like, and like Acorn Assault too, are both really good aggressive cards. They don't quite have the same like punch that I think Prowess needs to have as like the Blue Red Prowess decks did. So I think like basically every game this GP, I felt like I kind of cheesed out the wins. Whereas a lot of the Blue Red Prowess wins, I'm like, wow, this deck's going insane. They're Crossing Fog and Consults, and they're just keeping up with the control deck, and they're winning on turn like 9. Whereas here, if I'm not winning until like turn 4, then it's kind of over.
So basically, you're forced to nut draw or else you lose.
Yes.
Yeah, it's nuts. So there is one decision point I've noticed in this game. So in game 2, when Scribbl played Wheat from Chaff on turn 3, and Purple did not reach the release in response when Scribbl was tapped out of counterspell mana.
Well, I mean, I could have. I didn't count it immediately, but I caught it after Scribble drew 2. But the thing is that Scribble just can play a land and play another Wave of Decay or Descend on Helpless.
Right.
So that's 5 answers.
Yeah, but I guess
Okay, trial 6.
I guess it just didn't work out for you in the end because Scribble didn't have any of those things, but did have counter spells.
Yeah, I think that was more so just playing the odds. I mean, I considered not playing Breach of Lilies at all that turn to play around Breach of Mind, so I could force it through.
Right.
But that also feels kind of losing since I'd need to discard the Fanged End Jaws. So then the Raptor counters is doing like 6.
And playing not to lose rather than playing to win. Yeah. Doesn't sound objectively like a wrong decision. Just happened to be bad against what I had, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you playing Wheat from Chaff kind of, like just with the clue being crackable, makes it kind of seem like you might not have kind of magic potentially.
Oh yeah, being
No.
able to hide counters behind clue cracks is that's just such a sweet feeling.
So I did kind of get the impression you did have it since you discarded one, which is kind of a weird card to discard.
Yeah, I was
on the
thinking
one.
about not discarding it because I thought that might give out or give away that I was like holding another one. But I had 3 counter spells in my hand at that point, and I was like, they're kind of rotting away a little bit.
On the other hand, Scribble. So you're making it to the finals and you're going to be facing Splashcat. So do you think you're favored in the matchup?
Splashcat's stick is a little bit scary from all the videos that I've watched. I've definitely been trying to keep up to date with all the videos to boost my win percentage, maybe a little bit. Yeah, Splash.
I mean,
This
using
deck
everything available to you.
Yeah, taking advantage of it. Splash's deck feels pretty strong. I think it was one of the top 8 decks that I was most worried about facing up against. There's just so much good stuff going on in that deck that doesn't really feel like there's any weak cards, and then they just get better in combination. So
Yeah.
but it feels fair, I suppose, and I feel a bit better about playing against fair decks than something, say, like a linear combo deck. So I could see it going either way.
Yeah, I mean, you're a control deck, right? So applying MTG theory, you technically should be able to go over Splashcat's mid-range deck.
You want to call the GP now, Ricky?
No. It'll be hilarious if we manage to get the same deck winning 2 GPs back-to-back.
I think it'd be
What-
more hilarious if we had a control deck win a GP, to be honest.
Well,
That would be a thing that happens.
Maybe I've just missed them, but I don't remember the last time a control deck won a GP.
Purplemurasaki running Cosmic Thunder Princess.
If you want to call like King down to Bounty Thunder deck control, then I guess that counts. Though I think a lot of times they look much more like tempo decks than control decks.
Yeah, I think like that deck's it's definitely tempo more than control, I think.
Just so you know, Scrib, I believe in you.
Oh, thank you. Splash also believes in me, funny enough. So, according to her top 8 player profile. So, yeah, I've been riding off that hype.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But at the very least, I'm glad they don't need to play against another profane MSA deck, because profane MSA gives me existential dread when
Hey,
I'm
I mean-
playing a deck to it.
I mean, you did manage to get through the Profane Emissary by, blowing up their lands and then obscurating them.
I am 2-0 against profane MSA this GP. Like I beat Splashcat and the Swiss, but I don't think I'm actually favored in either of those matchups. So
Yeah. Well, either ways, thank you for joining us in the commentary booth for post-game interviews.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Thanks for recording the matches. Thanks for spreading the hype of Wave of Decay.
Do you want me to do the outro again?
Yeah.
All right, you've been watching a MSEM GP Guayaquil commentary. I've been Asti in the booth with me, also Ricky. Neon hopped in for a little bit, and then Purple and Scribble for the post game. If you enjoyed the semifinals, finals should be coming soon. If you enjoyed, there's a bunch more commentary on the channel because Ricky does a lot of work for the commentary team. And also, if you somehow stumbled upon this and you don't already know what MSEM is, go check out the Discord server and all that. It's very fun. Highly recommend. With that, see ya.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed.